off of that. That's my ham sandwich. And yeah, man, I was oh, my bad. Yeah. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Sanity Trance. Even if it's just somebody just playing this over and over again, welcome back. You know, we love and miss you. Today, this is actually probably something that more likely than not is a lesson that is. I want to say lesson. I mean, it's an idea that turns into an extremely applicable idea through all sorts of fields. But once I realized this, I really feel like I got a grip on how to play a good solo, how to, on any instrument. You know, it went from being like, I'm just all the ideas at once, and I'm just really good at run-on sentences, essentially, but no form, you know, nothing short form or conscious or anything like that. And it's not like I couldn't get through it, but it was like I didn't really have an idea about symmetry or different ways I could play with tension and release. And all these things that I've been studying over definitely the past 7 years, just teaching music. And to me, it seems like it's turned into one of the most sacred jobs I'm ever going to have, just getting to teach all ages about this stuff that ends up translating into everything. Because, you know, I have a really hard time disproving or finding any place where music isn't life, you know. It's so like, I don't know, it's widened my horizons extremely. And the idea, I'm sorry to not say it yet, but it is more of a realization that when I play an instrument, I'm not playing in the instrument. I'm not even thinking theoretical. Like, I am actually in reality just communicating. It's really simple, but I mean, production has taught anyone that simple is really difficult to maintain and create. You know, it's more like an illusion of simplicity to make something simple, but for all the things you have to keep yourself from doing to get in the way of your message, no matter what you do, you're communicating. So even if you don't feel like you're all that great at any instrument, it's not like you're not communicating. It's like even that is a statement within itself. Like, I can't not say something by existing. I can be quiet, and that communicates a message to you. You know, and it creates a certain set of tensions. And my favorite part about all that is there's only so many reactions you can really get out of a moment like that, because we're really building off of our survival mechanisms, and that's kind of how our attention span is maintained or disrupted. Just your idea of how comfortable you feel in the environment you're in. You know, if there's a fire, your attention's going to go to that, and we're going to figure it out real quick, you know? But, like, we're just, no matter what you do, you're saying something. And even if no one's listening, you're listening because you're experiencing the repercussions of shooting that idea out, you know, just having that thought. And you can completely change the way you think just by changing the inflection of the way you hear your thoughts in your head. It's such a big deal because you're communicating so differently if you inflect something differently. You know, I could read a paragraph in a foreign language and just sound really mad, and that would do something to even people who knew I didn't know what I was talking about or wasn't making any sense. You know, the inflection seems to be all that matters. And that, since it's a language thing, when you go into something like music, you can inflect the same line a few different ways. And, you know, a few is being I'm really holding back. There's as much as you can imagine, you can pull it if you can pull it. If you can, I'm not gonna tell you how many different ways you can play with the psychology of expectation, but that's what we're doing. We're playing with each other's expectations, which are built off of very fundamental survival mechanisms. So, contrary to popular belief on the path forward, you would think that you need to be flashier and bigger and more amazing than ever before because we're the future, and this is what evolution looks like and revolution and all that. But it's only going to work if people understand. And the laws of communication aren't going anywhere. They may be changing slightly, but it's only because of cultural norms and changing of mediums, like whether it's pencil or paper or your phone, everything says something, and it's all the stuff that's implied, and this kind of stuff drives me crazy sometimes because I just overanalyze the mess out of all of it. But then I remember that's just besides the point. I'm trying to communicate, and if I'm really having fun doing it, and I feel like I'm in my zone about it and all that, then it just happens naturally, and everything that needs to get said gets said. And I may feel bad about what something I forgot to say or something like that. Some lick I didn't play, or but at the end of the day, I'm just, in a way, it's kind of narcissistic to care. So, um, not to say it's not worth it for research or whatever, but definitely don't identify with the ideas that you have just in the name of research. It's just information for you to compartmentalize at a future date, and nothing says it can only belong in one place. And, it's everything is always trying to show you something. But that's the thing. You have to become a great listener to become a great speaker. And to be a great speaker, you have to be a great listener if you really want to be heard. And if you don't want to work too hard, the only way to go is shorter and sweeter and more relevant and layered. It's you can do a lot with a little, and it seems like a big no brainer about it with art, but if you really want to take the reins here instead of being unconscious to what you don't see coming, try to just put yourself in the audience shoes and understand how they listen. And really all you got to do is know how to listen from your own. So it's like you just go sit in the audience while you're playing and see if you can really hear what's going on with what you're saying. Are you just blabbing the biggest words in the dictionary, or are you trying to be concise and consistent and clear, efficient? But yeah, it's just whatever you're doing, like I said, if everything is creating something, then everyone's kind of in this art together. So if you're out there doing your thing in your corner of the earth with your specific set of skills or lack of skills, then there's always something you can do. You're still communicating something, and what you're trying to say is said with your actions. It's said with your life, the way you want, where you would like to see yourself progress to, one thought at a time. Just in any direction, just make sure you're not going too far in ones that are based on the field. If you remember, the whole point of this is to communicate. It keeps it a lot more manageable. It's not so personal. It doesn't hurt when things don't go the way you expect, because really that's even a step forward compared to things going the way you want. So that's better than saying it didn't go the way I wanted, because that hurts a lot. But to say it didn't go the way I expect, that makes you see it a little bit clearer. But even then, it's like you can take that further and not expect in the first place, and just be ready to understand the physical workings of why this situation played out this way. If you just look into the idea that time treats us all the same and we think all about it the same rate, we have, somebody might be thinking about pudding while someone's thinking about cameras or something, but like they'll all be done with that train of thought in about the same time, give or take. And so since that's the deal, everybody is kind of intercepting at a certain tempo. So you have to understand how to maintain that attention span by just being efficient, essentially. And I feel like it's funny to say that and make a thing like this in the middle of it, and it almost makes me want to hurry up and finish up. But for how epic it is and for how much it's done for me, there's just a ton there. So the next couple episodes is going to be kind of dedicated to the idea that we're all communication specialists. But the next few are probably going to be more music based, because I definitely want to address the idea of symmetry. But symmetry and form and all these things, they seem like they're just old and need to be old technology that needs to be updated and completely changed and all that. But that's all it's ever going to be forever, and that's the template of reality in a sense. So if we if we just respect that, then all the rest of what we really want will be said. It's like you just have to understand how to harmonize. How much do you really love harmony? And can you harmonize within yourself and throughout yourself and without yourself throughout can you see how the rest of the world harmonizes toward you, and see if you can either be okay with that particular chord or if you can change it a little bit, But the whole thing is in the name of harmony. And if you have a wide ear of harmony, and if your definition of harmony goes beyond music to the point of we're all communicating, then, at what point this isn't musical, I don't understand anymore. But I can tell you from, I seem to have gone the path of build the cabin in the woods by myself, just in the middle of nowhere, versus find a cabin in the woods, But because of that, this is a late realization in my life. I'm talking over the past couple weeks, right? But almost immediately, my solos are a lot sharper. I get them, but I haven't lost anyone. And I'm not saying that what I was doing was too advanced or anything like that, but it's like at a certain point, there's no reason for a lot of people to study extreme rhythms on drums, especially if they don't play drums. So that's like finding the right places to put those extreme moments so you don't lose people, but it's all based on listening to the way those people even listen. But for what point, and it's just to make the communication work and harmonize and even give you those secret overtones that pop up when everything is super in tune between tunable foundations, and I think the human mind is one of the best ones to tune before you do anything, because this brain of ours is an instrument, and the thoughts we think are the songs we play. And we love the songs we play. Even if we didn't want to play that song, it just popped up on our minds, radio, whatever, and we're in it, right? So just change the song. It's simple. And just one thought at a time. Don't think of anything huge, because that doesn't communicate well. Just taking it little and stacking it in a symmetrical form does a lot. And you're really playing with tension and release and expectations of people based on their survival mechanisms. So these are timeless things that aren't going anywhere. And I think it's beyond species, because my dog gets it. Of course, my dogs always have to listen to my crap, so, Anyway, much love, everybody. Communicate clearly. More clear, more better. All right.